I just make a quick comment, please, Mr. Mayor? It's Councillor Gafford here. Hello, hi. You okay? Sorry, yeah, just a quick one. Councillor Hobin, on the phone, when I asked him what he wanted, this is his reply to Councillor. Councillor said, what do you want for Failsworth? And Councillor Hobin said, F all. I want for Failsworth. What am I going to get? So this is the type of person. This is the type of person Councillor Hobin is, and that's what it was. And he is evident. He is witness to exactly what happened.
I have got to, Mr. Mayor, I've got to respond.
Councillor Hobin, you respond. Councillor,
you've got exactly what you got now, didn't you?
Councillor Gafford, will you stop interrupting, please? Thank you.
Point of personal explanation on an accusation that's just been levelled against me. On an accusation levelled against me.
Let Councillor Hobin speak, please. Councillor Gafford, I will not ask you again.
On an allegation against me, and I've got evidence that Councillor Gafford did offer me this role. And you've denied it. You've denied that before. So you have offered me this role.
Councillor Gafford.
I will say something else. I will sleep with full conscience after this vote because you are aware.
You won't be mayor next year.
You are aware, and other leaders are aware.
Councillor Gafford, cease. Stop.
You are aware.
Stop.
Councillor
interrupting. Yes, please, leave the chamber. Thank you. If that's what you wish to do.
Councillor Gafford and all the other leaders in this room are aware of a serious safeguarding issue regarding an elected member, and you've done nothing about it. The members have done nothing about it. There's only 2 people that have done things about this. You should be ashamed of yourself, covering things up, hiding things, hiding a serious allegation.
Councillor Hobin, please.
Mark, I thought we weren't making it personal.
Can I move it to vote, please?
Seconded. Just let's see when it winds down.
Oldham Council erupted into political turmoil last night as the appointment of Brian Hobin, a convicted fraudster, as deputy mayor triggered a mass walkout by opposition councillors, exposing deep fractures within the borough's leadership and raising fresh questions about governance, accountability, and integrity in local government. Hobin, whose criminal record includes a conviction for swindling elderly women out of their life savings, secured his elevation to the ceremonial role despite vocal objections from political opponents and stunned reactions from many in the public gallery. The vote was passed in a tense and deeply divided council chamber, with critics describing the decision as a disgraceful endorsement of criminality. Hobin's criminal history is well documented. He was convicted of fraud for orchestrating schemes that targeted elderly victims, persuading them to hand over their savings under false pretenses. That a figure with such a background could rise to one of the most symbolic offices in the borough has ignited outrage, not only among elected officials, but also among residents who now question the judgment of their local representatives. Local community groups have also announced plans to hold a public demonstration outside the next council meeting. A petition demanding Hobin's removal and a full ethics inquiry into the council's appointments process has already gathered thousands of signatures within 24 hours. The chaos in Oldham is likely to become a national story in the days ahead, with local authorities across the UK already under increasing scrutiny following multiple scandals over the past year. From Birmingham's financial collapse to corruption inquiries in Sandwell, the Oldham debacle adds yet another stain on the reputation of local government. Now we come to the next news.
Danny, it seems a little bit lame. That it sounds to me, and I think the worst part of it is the justification is to make some more space in the current prisons, because that's what they're saying, and that's why they're loosening everything. That's not good enough, surely.
It's not good enough, no. And we shouldn't be in this situation. We shouldn't be in a situation where we're literally going to run out of places in November unless emergency action is taken, which has been taken about the recall of prisoners. Remember, that time has been shortened to create space. But we're still going to run out of space by spring next year. And the prison population is growing by 3,000 a year. You can build prisons, but it takes years to build a prison. So we shouldn't be in this situation, but as you pointed out, we're in this situation because under the Conservatives only 500 extra places were built, which didn't keep pace with the growing numbers of prisoners and the new laws and the tougher sentences and so on. So what David Gauke's proposing is a remedy to try and fix the problem. I don't think it's ideal. I think that prisoners should serve longer in prison. If they're given a sentence of 4 years, then it should be, the vast majority of that should be served in custody, doing, protecting the public. That's the most important thing. Trying to rehabilitate themselves so they lead law-abiding lives when they come out. And then when they're out, then they should be supervised on licence. But if we did that for all the prisoners, there wouldn't be any space. So he's had to come up with this solution. I think it really depends on the probation service, because what he's advocating is a massive switch from prison to community sentences, which actually depends on a proper functioning probation service. Probation service is not functioning properly at the moment. Most of the probation areas in the country are failing. They've been inspected, they are failing. They're understaffed, they're 1,500 officers short of the target number of officers, and they're going to have even more cases under this plan. So I think it's really problematic. I don't think it will inspire confidence in the justice system, and I don't think it will work unless there's a major new investment and new ways of working in probation.
And we've also got, it's exacerbated by stupid things like people like Lizzie Connolly, who is in prison for tweets which, OK, it was unacceptable, but should she really be in prison? Then you've got people who don't pay their TV licence in prison, and then you've got thousands of foreign criminals in the jails. Do you think that perhaps we need to maybe take a look at that and start getting rid of the foreign prisoners who've committed crimes in our jails?
David Gauke has made some proposals to deport foreign prisoners more quickly. I think the government should go further. What I would do is look at paying the foreign countries to lock those offenders up rather than having us pay them. It costs £54,000 a year on average per prisoner per year to lock someone up in England and Wales. There are other countries, Albania and Poland, where many of the foreign prisoners are from, that could probably do that for much less. Our government should pay them to do that. That would free up places in our system. I think that's an approach that they should seriously look at.
And very briefly, before I go to the panel, and what about Shabana Mahmood's notion that paedophiles should potentially be chemically castrated?
Look, this is again something David Gauke says that should be looked at. There are already pilot schemes going on at the moment. In fact, they've been going on for over a decade in this country. So absolutely look at it. But if you think that's the answer to sex offending, then you're wrong. It's not. It's only part of the answer to it, because there are some sex offenders who are motivated by power, and it's not to do with the sexual urge or the sexual drives. It's not going to impact.
But you could start with that, because not.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's not a bad. It's not a bad idea. It sounds like you're going more
right wing by the sound of it. In fact,
I'm pretty tough when it comes to penal policy, Nana. Believe me.
Labour leader Keir Starmer's sentencing reform plan, diverting non-violent offenders from prison to community service, is less a bold new vision and more a last-ditch effort to stop the justice system from imploding. Justice expert Danny Shaw summed it up bluntly. We shouldn't be here, but we are. Years of conservative mismanagement have left prisons overcrowded and the probation service broken. Starmer's proposals, while necessary, are reactive, pushed not by principle, but by crisis. The probation service is still reeling from a disastrous part. Privatization under Tory Minister Chris Grayling, renationalised in 2021. It remains understaffed, overburdened, and ill-equipped to handle an expanded caseload under Labour's plan. Meanwhile, prisons are bursting at the seams, with the population nearing 90,000 and projections even higher. Starmer rightly argues that short sentences don't reduce reoffending, but critics warn Labour isn't being upfront about why these reforms are happening now, because the system can no longer cope. Without serious investment in probation and rehabilitation services, these reforms risk becoming a political liability. They're smart on paper, but only if the foundation isn't crumbling underneath.